The number one topic you guys wanted me to talk about was school life and the K-pop trainee life. How do K-pop stars balance the school life and being an artist? And do I and others regret giving up school to become a K-pop artist? I also have a friend that went to the famous yellow school outfit school where all the idols come out of, and I asked her, was there any drama between different K-pop trainees, especially in this school, because I've heard that there is a lot of competition over there. So we're gonna see if that's true or not. And at the end, I have a Q&A session where you guys ask me about school life, and I could be just a little bit of an unnie mentor for you guys, for those who are in school. I'm also wearing the cutest outfit today, you guys. Like, look at this. I put this in actually my Instagram. And for my accessories today, do you guys see my new earbuds that I'm wearing? These are wireless earbuds from Raycon, and let me just introduce you guys to a little bit. The one that I'm wearing right now is the E25 Pro True Wireless Earbuds, but also at the same time, if you think those high-end earbuds are too expensive, why don't you guys try these Raycon earbuds? And you guys could go jogging, exercising on the train, and you commute to your school or whatever, and have these wireless earphones so you don't have that annoying wire connected to you. It comes in a super cute case like this. You charge them and they last 6 hours, up to 6 hours, so that's a long time to be listening to music. They have a very comfortable fit and they're noise isolating, which is great because if you don't want to hear your brother bickering in the background, you could just zone out to music. The company was co-founded by Ray J, and celebrities like Snoop Dogg are obsessed with Raycon. You guys can go to buyraycon.com/crazygrace to get 15% off. And by supporting creators sponsors, you guys are helping me out as well to continue making these videos. So thank you so much to Raycon for sponsoring today's video, and thank you guys for listening. I don't have wine today, but let's get cozy and talk about school life with you guys. So when it comes to K-pop world, you know, most people start at a very young age, even since like elementary school to normally about middle school. Now obviously I wasn't a trainee when I was in middle school. I started a little bit later. I was about 19 when I started, so I did finish high school, but I did stop my first year of college, and I'll get to that in a little bit. So what I remember is, I remember we had trainees that was in middle school, and they would definitely finish school, but they wouldn't go to the extracurriculums that usually kids go to. You know, usually kids go to hagwon, after school extras that your parents send you to study math, English. I remember it wasn't every day. Like, these middle school girls, they only came about 2 to 3 times a week, and I do remember they came over the weekends. And they didn't train for that long. They would only train for about, let's say, 3 to 4 hours a day that they would be at the company, and then they would just go back home and then go to school. So it wasn't a hard schedule, I remember, for the middle school kids, which I totally agree with, because I don't agree starting from a young age to deprive kids of their natural playful time and wanting to hang out with their friends and be in school and do those activities as a young child, versus coming to the company every single day and just practicing, just staring at the wall. Also, I do remember the company being very lenient to the middle school kids because they're young and there was like not a lot of big pressure to them. Meanwhile, the adults were, you know, the high school students and above us trainees and artists, you know, they're a bit more strict because your age is more closer to the debut age. High school, this is a little bit different. So actually, I really want to talk about, I believe the school is called Halim Hakgyo. It's one of the most famous performing arts high school in Korea, and they say almost every famous idol goes to the school. There was actually a couple of girls that went to this school that I used to train with, and it was really interesting because the trainees, with their parents' permissions, were able to leave the school only after taking morning classes. So after about 12 p.m. they get to go out of school early, come to training into the company, and they stay there all night and just train with the rest of us. So they only take like 2 or 3 classes in the morning and then just come and train, and they do this for their 4 years of high school. And I was also curious, how do these school students literally study and do tests and take notes if they're not in school? So I interviewed one of my really great trainee friends, my 동생, and her name is Hyosan. She actually used to go to the famous Halim yellow school outfit school, so I interviewed her to see what she did during tests because I was literally curious myself. I asked Hyosan, how did you even take tests during classes that you did not attend? Because I believe you still have to pass those classes. According to her, she says that she had to rely on her good friends most of the time, and they would take notes for her, and during tests on the classes that she usually did not take, she would have to just rely on the notes. I don't know how you do that, but that's why I heard a lot of these trainees who are also in high school who leave school early just for training. They fail in a lot of classes. They just don't even try sometimes. I'm not saying that she didn't try, but I know I heard a lot of kids who just are almost failing because they're never taking those classes and they're never there. So basically all the responsibility still at the end of the day is put upon you for you to study and for you to take care of. And I guess that's just how it works. A lot of these trainees also don't sleep as much because they do have training and they also have to study and do homework on top of that. So I do remember some of the trainees saying that they don't get enough sleep, that they still have to do homework so that they don't actually fail the classes. Some of the trainees also live very far from the company to their house to school, so they're commuting every single day. And sometimes they only sleep like 2-3 hours. And we all, you guys are watching if you're in school, we shouldn't even have excuses of not finishing homework or studying because these K-pop trainees are able to do everything at the same time. Hyo-sun also said this depends on each person, but especially for her, she wasn't interested or did too well on regular academic studies, so she focused more on arts and sports. So just like this, some students who just don't really care about math, for example, or English, they don't really focus on that and they just try to do well in the other classes that they are good at, I guess trying to balance the report card out. I asked, is there regrets that they didn't attend school properly? And according to Hyo-sun, she said yes and no. The no part that they don't regret is that they go in knowing that the traditional academic classes are not for them. And again, they know that they want to pursue their career in music or as an actress. But the thing that they do regret is that they don't have much memories with their friends. Oh. She says that she wishes she had more memories, going to theme parks, shopping, trips, and fun little hangouts with her school friends. But Hyo-sun did tell me that she cherishes her memories in training and making memories with the unnies that she used to train with. Lastly, I did ask her, does she regret not going to college? Which a lot of K-pop idols actually don't go to college at all because that's usually the age where they debut and they try to pursue their music career. She actually says she doesn't regret not going to college because she could decide to go to college later in life and that wasn't really a big decision for her. I have another case that I remember because during one of my TV show filmings, there was this one girl who was also in high school. And I remember that girl, she would tell us like she has school in the morning and we just finished filming at like 5-6 a.m. and I was like, how are you going to school? She'd probably sleep about an hour or no sleep at all, and then she would come back to filming whenever she was done. So I don't know how that girl did it, but I remember while I was filming the TV show, trying to like do music, write my own songs, like I was so hectic. And to put school on top of that, if you guys are in high school and you guys were a trainee or an artist, do you think you could juggle both and not fail in school? So at the end of the day, it's about sometimes sacrificing your sleep and sacrificing your grades. Now, for me personally, I also stopped going to school. I only went to 1 year of college and I was supposed to major in communication designs, aka like graphic designs, and I did art all my life. Do I regret not going to college, going back to college? I personally say no, and that's just my personal experience and my personal opinion. Do not apply my experience to yours. I personally don't regret it because especially in the major in my field, like graphic design, arts, and stuff like that, I personally believe, especially with social media, the internet age, and how easy it is for you to self-learn, to let your talent out there into the world by using all of these different social medias. Spending 4 years in college and then like, years and years into one company, I personally did not see that as my life future path. So here's a weird scenario. If I ever was a medical student and I wanted to be a K-pop trainee, do I think I could give that up? First of all, if you want to be a doctor or a lawyer, please do that. Because you could do music on the side, which is totally accessible these days. You have TikTok, you have YouTube, you could do a lot of things on the side while doing your main job like law and medical. So let's go to the Q&A of you guys that are in school that have concerns, problems, and uplifting mentor thoughts that you need when it comes to your school life. How much do grades in high school affect your life? That's a great question because when you're stuck in school, everything is about grades. Your parents only care about grades. And I personally put this into 2 categories. There are things where grades matter, such as, like I said, if you're a medical student, if you're a lawyer, if you want to become a teacher. But for example, for me, we had like 9 classes, right? Like 9 periods. And my parents did pressure me to do well in all 9 of them. But if I get like one class, for example, math in 80, my parents would give me such a hard time about it. But I did well in my other 8 classes. And I think that it just put a lot of negative pressure on kids. There's gonna be classes where you're gonna ace in and where you're just interested and you're so good at, and there's classes you might not do too well on, but just do your best. And I think that's all that matters. I feel like online school is really taking a toll on my mental health. You guys, I cannot imagine what online school would do to your mental health. You're literally sitting on on a screen for hours and hours. That is really bad. So what I recommend you guys to do is, if you guys have free time, please go out and do things in the nature. After you're done with school, don't go to your phone and stare at it for 5 hours. Go out into nature, go exercise, go take a walk, go to a coffee shop with your friends, you know, do something more nature related so you're not around technology all the time. What were you like in school? Or do you have any key advice for school in general? I wasn't really nerdy, but I was that quiet, timid, nerdy looking Asian that's sitting in the back of the class who had no friends. I don't look like it, but that's who I was. And one thing, again, I don't like to use the word regret, but I do regret slightly, is I was just so timid and just so caring about what other people thought. A religious boarding school has period checks. It's hard to explain, but it's traumatic. What? You mean period like the female period, or do you mean like class periods? Because you also call classes period. Someone explain. I always feel like I'm going to be a disappointment to my parents. How do I get over this fear? Again, you guys, talking with this whole parents thing, I love my parents. I appreciate my parents for everything that they've done, and they do the best for you. Just know that they're doing the best that they think that they are doing at that moment. But it doesn't mean that parents are always right. You know, parents are humans just like us, and they get things wrong at the same time. But you have your own soul and you have your own path, and know that you don't have to always please your parents. So just take care of your happiness first too. I get made fun of due to my overweight. Trust me, drama that happens in high school doesn't matter in life. Just forget about it, stand up for yourself and say, hey, don't make fun of me, you're not perfect. My classmate for 6 years, aka my best friend, turned their back on me just because I refused to do something. Good, you just found out who you should not be friends with. That should be a blessing in disguise, and you should not be friends with this person because they are not a true friend for you. What do you think about S education in school? Here it's like nothing. I do remember S education in my school was kind of basic, you know, they just talk about the technical stuff that happens, and they didn't, I guess, go into it more emotionally. And I personally think that S education should also be taken a little bit more emotionally. If I was a parent and if I was a teacher, I would just give more personal stories to let the kids relate to. That makes sense, because I feel like I didn't really learn much from S education classes. Ooh, school treating the smarter kids differently by giving them more opportunities. Is that fair? And is being smart everything? That's hard too. That's hard. In life, I learned that life is a competition. Life sometimes, actually most of the times, it's about survival of the fittest. If not, you are going to be pulled back. If not, you are going to feel like things are not fair. And guess what? Life doesn't care. There are so many times in life where I felt like I was pushed back because I wasn't pretty, because I wasn't as talented. And guess what? People don't care what you feel. So as much as that sounds so harsh, in my opinion, you have to strive to be the best. So I hope that we had this nice talk with all my subscribers and viewers who are in school. Anything you want to let out, remember to comment down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and now I am gonna go and listen to some music. Have good luck in school, you guys.